Hello everybody and welcome to another Beyond All Reason video. Today we are on Devil's Post Piles with two legends of the 1v1 scene. One of them wearing a hat within a hat. Just that's how good that player is that they have two hats. And they are Mr. Autopilot and their opponent today, Mr. Ubivator. Ubivator with no hats whatsoever. Playing as Armada Ubivator and going for a bot start. Their opponent Yun is not picked anything just yet. Not Yun, sorry. Autopilot hasn't picked any faction just yet. So we'll see how this goes. For those that haven't seen Devil's Post Piles map before, it's a little bit interesting. So units cannot pass up this hill here. This water section is high enough so that you can't build in it, but low enough that units can still pass through fine. Ticks can even pass through it. There you go, see? But I think ticks are too far underwater and therefore aren't able to shoot if they're like actually in the water. So it is important to choose your units correctly here. Trying to sneak in and get a metal extractor. It does seem the build power will be enough to stop that there. Now, start positions. So every single one of these little hills have a metal extractor on. So we might end up seeing air from both players later on down the line to get that. Also, there are geo points. And basically, the map is in the same rotated around itself. So basically, this position here is the same as, you know, as this position. And that one. And that one. So it makes a very interesting FFA or two-player map. But these players are playing it 1v1, which is also not a bad choice. Now, Ubivator's start position is... well, I would say it's a bit different because every time we've seen a 1v1 on this map so far, they spawn here. So they spawn opposite each other, like this. That's mostly due to... Well, if your Autopilot's in a stronger position for defense here, and if Autopilot is able to push out of here and get a foothold here, Ubivator is going to be in a bit of a tough spot as he's going to have lost his like 3 extra mechs. Whereas we can see here Autopilot spreading out to this triple mechs, and then we'll look to secure this area down here. So yeah, bit of an interesting choice. It does seem like Ubivator's planning to be a bit more aggressive, and that's why he's chosen to start here. Also, kind of makes sense with his choice of factory here, going for ticks and pawns, because he wants to be really aggressive against his opponent, get lots of damage dealt. Because obviously with bots, you can get more units out with less metal cost. But that only works if Autopilot actually loses units, though. Pawn's coming in, attempting to grab this expansion con, but does not look like it will get it done into... Oh, actually, some good micro means that he does actually manage it. Well done. Now, if it sounds like I'm a bit bunged up still, I am, unfortunately, still a little bit under the weather. So you'll have to just forgive me for that one. I can't help it, I'm afraid. Ubivator now finally moving out with his comm. Autopilot keeping his in base. Problem now for Ubivator is due to his start position, if... Autopilot is able to block this off, it's going to be pretty difficult, and that's kind of exactly where you can see these units are moving to, trying to grab some expansion cons heading down here from Ubivator. But if he's able to contain Ubivator in this top section, that basically gives the entire map to Autopilot. So it's a bit risky, but we'll see how it goes, I guess. Also, with incisors coming out, pawns are not going to trade very favorably. But with the access to resbots, he does have a few options, or at least for getting these units back that he does lose. And again, it's about a 2-to-1 exchange rate generally for vehicles to bots. So as long as the vehicle player gets more than that, they're in a pretty good spot. And that's exactly what we had just here. Look, 2 pawns for 1 incisor. Now, Ubivator doing a good choice here. He's pushed out with his commander, built this LLT, and he's basically trying to now cut off Autopilot with his commander here to stop Autopilot being able to expand. But just like we mentioned earlier on at the beginning, if Autopilot does get a bit of a foothold here, it can prove problematic for Ubivator, and he is desperately trying to not let that happen. Good trade here, 2 incisors for 2 pawns. That's exactly what you want. Resbots are out as well, so all of these units will slowly but surely get turned into Ubivator's units, or turned into metal, which also gets turned into Ubivator's units. Ubivator also picking up a constructor there, which is pretty nice grab, but one has still managed to get by. Now, Ubivator has a choice. He could try and move across to here and block that off, but he does risk his commander getting swamped. This is a large enough incisors that if microed correctly, could grab the commander. So he does need to be a little bit careful. Also, with him being so far away, also adds a bit of problems. You can see, and with this water section now, it's not like you can just build an LLT here or something like that. You are blocking off your opponents. So Ubivator, is he just going to build mexes? I'm surprised he just doesn't like chuck down an LLT there and then start walking, but no. Oh, I heard air. Where is it? Here we go. We have air coming out from Ubivator here, with getting the metal on the hills, as well as building all of the mexes. Now, if you do that, that is a significant advantage over a period of time here, because just look how many metal extractors there are up on those hills. If your opponent never contests it, that's a lot of metal that you're getting, and it's hard for you to get the metal extractors once they're up there. You need to get something like gunships or something like that, specifically just to get rid of those metal extractors. Or artillery, I guess. Land artillery would work. But with pounders now out, it's not going to trade very favorably here for Ubivator. Getting a single pounder here for 2 maces and 1 centurion is a not very good trade whatsoever. Keeping just outside the edge though now, actually microing these units a little bit. He does manage to get a couple more here, a lot better trades. But still, not the greatest. Ah, see, now what he could do is he could capture this and then he'd have both technologies. Oh, incisor push manages to get around the top here and take out this expansion, as well as some energy converters. Also, we see Autopilot with his own air now. So those high ground mexes will no longer be his alone. Gunships surprisingly survive quite a long time, even with all these fighters. They do now finally die, but still. Not looking too bad. These guys are going to get absolutely slaughtered if they hang around there for much longer. How much metal was there? 1.38k metal. That's a lot of metal to be just have lying around. Now, both players are neck and neck when it comes to metal a second, with the exception of now there's some reclaim getting them made. Metal produced is basically identical as well. Very nice raid there by Ubivator. Defensive units being forced to move into position, as well as the commander here in an attempt to stop this going any further. Now with the commander there, he will be able to rebuild it relatively quickly, but still that's 3 metal extractors to lose. And this middle section is starting to become a bit of a problem, as this is a sizable chunk of forces here. The AA trucks, lashers here, giving long range damage, and AA of course, and then pounders to stop any of those grunt pushes. But it does look like when we zoom out here that most of the metal extractors on the high ground are going to autopilot at the moment, with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 as opposed to 3, 4, 5. Air transports. It's got a Centurion. What is it with players and Centurion drops at the moment? Everyone wants to do Centurion drops. I don't get it. It's just becoming a thing. Okay, so the fighters head south here in an attempt to draw the fighters away, but the Centurions are going directly over the lashers, and that's an expensive loss as one of the Centurions gets killed instantly. And I don't know if he's got exactly the right unit comp here to deal with this attack. Both Centurions get destroyed very quickly. At the same time, there's another equal force here making its way into that bottom metal extractor section. What's he gonna do? What is he gonna do? Is he just gonna build up a bunch of maces here, and that's what his plan is? He's gonna attempt to build a beamer to see if that helps, but I think the lashers still outrange that beamer. Look how quickly they take out the bases. And the lashers will just slowly kill down the beamer, but there is a lot of build power there and it's been focused on repairing. At the same time, Ubivator having to degun some units at the bottom there. Surprisingly, still keeping that under control. There was an army here in the center which also got annihilated. And somehow, I think actually purely down to the beamers being built, survives and lives to fight another day. But there's been no reinforcements coming up to this army up here, but because they're all going down here because they know where Ubivator's commander is. Ubivator has very little in the way of support here, and he is going to be in trouble if Autopilot just charges everything down here. Now, if you're not used to bar, the win condition here is kill your opponent's commander. It matters not what you do to the opponent's base, as long as that commander unit goes boom. That's all that matters. And so what we're seeing here may be that Autopilot is just going to go after Ubivator's commander instead. I was about to say that, but then this entire army is moving across the map diagonal to the bottom corner instead. This is a lot of metal to be leaving on the field though. 3.6k, 3.8k now metal is a lot of metal. Gunships out and about will get slowly whittled down by the lashes, but not doing too bad. This corner will get cleared out, but this corner was never really controlled anyway. But if the units stay down here, this definitely gives Ubivator nowhere to escape to. And it's not even like he has air control so that he can get air transport out of there. Because he could literally just get an air transport and just go sit up here, right? And then not have to worry about all of the land units. But with those lashes, it's just not going to happen. I'm surprised this is so even right now, because when you look at what's going on, it's hard to say. Like, there's a lot of units army value wise we can see. Autopilot has a lot of stuff, and for some reason a large amount of air transports are being built here. Picking up all the pounders. I mean, yeah, because the problem is with this map, right? He could literally just fly them here, drop them off. And that's exactly what happens. The air transports land. The pounders get to work. But not quite as much of a surprise as he was hoping for, but this is actual base damage. Autopilot wasn't able to inflict any base damage at all. He just did a lot of unit damage here. These pounders will get mopped up relatively quickly, and the biggest problem now for Ubivator is this force here entering Ubivator's little home island. And being a mixture of incisors, pounders, lashers, and brutes, they've got varied speeds. You're going to have to move stuff to intercept in different locations. Ooh, that was some good timing on that. A lot of energy damage. Trying to micro those incisor eats there, and does manage to do a good job. Only loses a single one there. And this is a lot of wrecks being left in Ubivator's base here. 2.6k metal and 1,000 over here. But it's hard to say, because right now Autopilot is doing tremendously well. He's got a lot of units, and now realistically he kind of has Ubivator contained. But at the same time, Ubivator has more metal extractors on the map. Now, I wouldn't necessarily say he has map control, but he does have more mechs. Albeit for now, but still, this comm is in a very, very precarious location. The fact that he's just down there on his own whilst, you know, basically kept out of his own base is a very interesting choice. Getting that flanking damage off, killing the mechs pretty quick, but these guys will get mopped up there as well. And Autopilot is waiting quite a long time here. He's letting Ubivator get quite a lot of that reclaim. Now, energy was at least a problem for Ubivator, but he's managed to get it under control. You can see he's actually eaten both of the beamers here just as a need to get more metal and get it down. No Tech 2 transition yet from either player. We can see Autopilot actually went double down on vehicles here with 2 vehicle labs. And you can kind of tell that by army value. 100% difference in army value right now. Realistically, there should be no way that Ubivator manages to hold against this superior numerical advantage, but oh, the Tech 2 transition happened very, very quickly there, and tumbleweeds and gunslingers coming out. And EMP bots. Right, this is where a big difference may happen. EMP does get caught. Does only manage to stun 5 units. I think he was hoping for a lot more, but that is the Tech 2 transition is known now. That is more what he was looking for there. Tumbleweeds can get in, do their damage quick. And there we see a huge change. And the tumbleweeds are not like scuttles. They're not cloaked. When you're on about scuttles, they don't have them because they're in Cortex. Cortex nuke ones are cloaked, so it makes it a little bit easier to get the bombs off. These tumbleweeds are very, very small though and hard to hit. But the lashes do kind of make that a little bit easier there, so it might be a little bit difficult to get those in. Hence why he needs the EMP bots. But the res bot's already going to work here, trying to resurrect stuff, needing to make that army value different. There is a force along the bottom here, which is being defended by Ubivator and his a few maces that he has. He should be all right here. He is moving half of them round, and if all these pounders do walk in, I don't think there's enough maces there. Maybe the commander can assist. So this would have been a great time to walk in. EMP bots though. Oh, that was a tremendous EMP, getting most of that army, all because his attention was elsewhere. Huge EMP, and that has turned the tide massively when it comes to army value. Autopilot had a very, very comfortable lead with that army, but losing that to EMP and Tumbleweed, very, very well played. He knew that the attention of Autopilot was elsewhere with these attacks, so he made the most of that while he could. Now, he's still not out of the woods yet. He does have a bit of an army value lead now, but I don't know. He still doesn't have necessarily the right units for this. He is building recluses. Now, a recluse can walk up cliffs. If he manages to get a recluse up here, for example, or up here, that's going to be really annoying for Autopilot because he's not going to be able to do anything about it. Have we seen? And now we're seeing bed bugs coming out from Autopilot. Not exactly the unit I was expecting. Got some bomb on bomb action. These units just look so funny. Look how quickly those little feet move. So could go anywhere right now. This isn't gonna really go anywhere. Gunslingers, I mean, I'm really surprised gunslingers getting used. They outrange pounders quite considerably here. And they do have a self-heal, which also helps. But it does look like autopilot. If this section at the bottom, I was going to say, was continue micro down here, he would lose some of that expansion. But the recluses actually went straight for the base here. Seem like almost a full mix of unit roster here. This is pretty cool. So we've got sumos from autopilot. The recluse is going up the hill, just like we mentioned, and look at the range that they've got now. As long as he's got vision, this is going to be really annoying to deal with if he left that up there. Now he isn't leaving it up there, which is surprising, as now it's going to get killed before it makes up the hill. Ooh, just manages to make it back up the hill. Yeah, I'd just leave it up there. Cause problems. But no, he pulls it back down. Tumbleweeds kind of just doing their thing at the moment. Nothing really happening too far. Shurikens being really annoying for Ubivator. But still, this is anyone's game right now. I mean, technically, autopilot has more of the metal extractors capped. And, but we're not talking very much difference, and realistically this army here should be making short work of that, putting autopilot back in the corner. More recluses though, attempting to make a bit of a dent. Oh, does he get the Tech 2 con? No, because he focuses the commander instead. The quick mind building from the Twitcher. Well, that have worked out perfectly. Almost. Tech 2 con does get killed. Oh, that commander needs to run away. The dodge of the missiles. There we go. And the D-gun. Perfect. Oh, this was a large build power loss, though. Look how many constructors were lost in this corner. 1 Tech 1 and 5 Tech 1 and 1 Tech 2 lost in that corner there. That's a big build power loss. But I say it's a big build power loss. Look how much build power autopilot has. So many con turrets. But he loses another Tech 2 constructor on a somewhat of a drive-by. Does manage to get the metal extractor, but not the biggest damage in the world. One of the biggest impacts has been this bottom attack here, taking out several metal extractors. They're all Tech 1, but there is quite a lot of them. I'm seeing gunships that I don't quite know what the plan is with them. Only Tech 1. Try and clear up some of this, I guess, but look at the air superiority of autopilot. He has a lot more fighters than his opponent. Ooh, I was about to say, oh look, we're about to see a more conventional army out of Ubivator hounds, but hounds have already gone, and we've got welders and sharpshooters, but neither of them have any power. So maybe a little bit early on the draw there. He does have a single fusion up and a prude, which is a very safe option here. Has to rush out more energy here because he's desperately short on power. But good clear up though. Ubivator doing a good job, and it's surprising how many gunslingers he's built. I don't know if these are these the same ones. I mean, they don't have veterancy, but they do have. Yeah, they do have a bunch of kills. So yeah, the same gunslingers just down here at the bottom, just causing problems. And there's not much really Autopilot can do about it. He's just going to come back over with an aircon and just try and recap them all. But still, Rosebot's re-getting this build power up that was lost. But Autopilot is being pushed into a corner here. Bazaar coming out will be a good defensive option. To be honest, it's such a mixture of units. So he's got tumbleweeds, he's got recluses, he's got gunslingers, welders, snipers, and hounds. Ooh, that's our hit. Say goodbye, welders. Now the scout spam is here to try and harass the snipers, use the shots of the snipers, but also to try and find these EMP bots. Is he going to keep them up on that hill? No. Yeah, they ain't making it. Not with Zars there. What's his vision like? Well, the gunslingers have finally met their match at the bottom corner. The sumos march in and make quick work of them. But still, this is a tough spot. Tech 2 air now from Autopilot. Still only Tech 1 air from Ubivator. And it's a bit of a tough spot here. It looks like, yep, here we go. So Ubivator probably going Tech 3, I guess, by the looks of this. Needs the space. No, going Tech 2 air. It's going Tech 2 air. Okay, that's not what probably me or the other spectators thought. Actually goes for Tech 3 down here. I bet you couldn't fit it here due to like the terrain deformation that you can see. Slight terrain error. But Tech 3 is up now. And we see him going Razorbacks. Autopilot is yet to transition to Tech 3. He does have a lot in the way of fighters though, which is a bit of a problem for Ubivator. So he definitely needs to get more air up and running. UB's comm has been detected in the bottom corner. As we select air, he doesn't see the Tech 3 factory though, so he's not aware that exists. These units might end up coming around here to just try and deal with this. But a Serb was built. Not a bad place for that, to be fair. Autopilot now will have full control of that bottom corner. And Ubivator can't really defend this corner right now, at least. I kind of think he wants to hold off on the Razorbacks for now, like have them hidden somewhere, because if he gets them spotted, his opponent's just going to be aware and start transitioning stuff to counter them. But who knows, as these ticks will definitely spot them in a moment. They are all rushing down south here. I think they are literally just trying to grab the commander here if they can. There's enough LLTs. Again, the Razorbacks going to the bottom here. 2 Razorbacks to the bottom to try and clear up the expansion that's been done by Autopilot yet again. I guess the problem is it's really hard to push the main here. With the amount of units and the choke coming in, it's going to be difficult to push in. You know what he could build though, which would be really annoying, is if he built a Vanguard, he could walk it up to there, and that Vanguard could fire right into Autopilot's base, and there wouldn't really be much that Autopilot could do about it. Not only that, but there is an AGO in there as well, which he'd probably be able to hit. And even if he can't hit it there, he could move to this hill or even this hill and then get a shot. And because it's all terrain, you know, he's going to be able to get up there. Now, Autopilot could build the negotiators here, and maybe the Banishment might be able to hit it to counter that, which is why you'd rather have it a bit further back, but still. Razorbacks are surprisingly good versus air, as the fight happens above. It's a pretty close air battle, but Autopilot does come out victorious, leaving these Razorbacks able to clear up what's left here. But as soon as those Zars come down, there's 4 Zars. As soon as those Zars make their way down, these Razorbacks will be toast. Question is, do you just, especially with the Serb there, do you just self-D them so you don't give them out to your opponent? One Razorback dead. But the more important fight is this one here. Just that Serb just doing work. Does manage to kill it. This Razorback will die though for that Serb. Still, again, yeah, it's still anyone's game. The numbers over here point to being Autopilot in the lead, but when it comes to looking at actual map control, Ubivator has had these metal extractors in this corner a lot longer than Autopilot's had these. Now with the air cons, he's going to be able to recap that pretty quick. Also with these termites, they're going to be a bit of an annoyance, but not the end of the world. Vanguards did end up getting built here. Oh, interestingly enough, although Vanguards are all-terrain, apparently they can't walk up here. Which is interesting because that's the whole point in them, right? Is that they're all terrain. Which, if that's the case, he's probably built to thinking he can do it, then realized he can't, and has now just gone back to Razorbacks. Razorbacks just are not able to make an impact, unfortunately, and 11k metal now at the bottom. Mixture of Zars and spam causing Ubivator some problems that he's unable to write checks on. Bombers just get destroyed before they even get to drop a bomb. Now, where are the Vanguards going? According to the F2, the Vanguards cannot walk up that hill. And they are now about to get absolutely destroyed by spam. Hoping desperately that the Razorback can come and save it. which it actually does manage to do. Let's see, what else do we have here? So we have a bulwark being built. No tech 3 yet from Autopilot. Instead, Autopilot doubling down on tech 2 air here. And he doesn't even have a tech 2 vehicle lab anymore. So if those wrecks or those Zars get destroyed, that's GG. Razorback's being resurrected here rather than eaten as well. Oh, but the tick spam manages to make it to the E-converters. And not only that, it takes out all of the, well, not all, but all of the additional build power that was on that factory. This one scout managing to just sit at the back here. There you go. I'll get killed now. Aiming for the fusion. I mean, it's done some work, but at the end of the day, a fusion when you've already got 2 aphuses is not the end of the world. Oh, but they are going for the Tech 3 factory, which has only just finished completion. And is there enough damage here to damage the unit before it's built? No. So, first Shiva rolls off the production line. And the Vanguards also get taken out by Tech 2 Air here. Tech 2 gunships making very short work of those Vanguards. And unfortunately for Ubivator, the fighters come in a bit too late to save any of that Tech 3. I don't know. What can he do? Oh, okay. He's changing tactics. He's building a 4. 4 will work well versus the spam. Its EMP missiles may play a big impact in catching some of those Zars, but with Shivas rolling off the assembly line here now, I mean, Razorbacks do fairly well versus Shivas, so it's not the end of the world there being Shivas, but this is the target that Ubivator really needs to hit. Is Ubivator even aware that that exists? He is. Okay. Tick spam just being a bit of an... not tick spam, sorry. Scout spam. It's just general scout spam. Being an annoyance for Ubivator. Able to actually get metal extractors as well. Are they gonna get all 3? 1. Not 2. 400 health left. Pretty close. Resbots will do their jobs and get that back online, but he has lost this 3 here, and it's proving somewhat difficult for Ubivator to hold right now. Autopilot has had pretty much an advantage on army value the entire game, and now unable to like contest this reclaim field here and here. That's going to be 3-4 Vanguards that he's going to end up giving his opponent. Now, if this 4 is used well, if it gets an EMP built off in time, that is, that may make a huge change. But it's whether that happens or not. Keeping this selected for a moment, we can see that the missiles are almost ready. Bit of an air fight taking place at the bottom. It's not the end of the world though. So there's actually no combat units in there. He's actually just using the fighters to defend the Tech 2 build power here that's just slowly expanding along the bottom. Oh, I heard the noise of the missile being used. There we go. EMP missile away. Good land. 3 Zars and a Shiva. Question is, does he have the damage here to be able to kill them? The Sponson will keep that EMP'd permanently. Some good damage. Not the end of the world again, but still, it made an impact. He needs another one of those 4s, or at least needs to keep the 4 with the army. Problem is, just due to all the resurrected Razorbacks here, it's proving difficult for him to keep stuff spread out. I think it's just, I don't know, he's running into problems. He has got a lot of gunships here, and it looks like maybe his plan might be to go for an air snipe on this with gunships, but or he's apparently just going to use the gunships to kill the Razorbacks. Here comes the fighters. And it's still hard to say. I mean, there's definitely a lot less blue fighters, but they did get the job done, and all the gunships were destroyed. EMP missile away again. This time only grabs a single guy. This may be the end for Ubivator. 4's chasing the Zars and Shivas. Tries to get in range of that Sponson so he can EMP stuff permanently, but it's not going to happen. And there we go. Ubivator calls the GG.
Commander self-destructed.
Very, very, very well played by Autopilot.
Just kept up the pressure and was able just to recover from those Razorbacks attacking. And just didn't give up. He continued scaling as well, which is the biggest thing. He ended up on 4 Aphuses, which is something that Ubivator didn't do. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this one. Don't forget to hit all of the YouTube buttons, and I'll see you all next time.